Is this good for ASMR?
I don't know.
Jesus loves you. This I know, for the Bible tells me so.
Just leave that as our introduction. Alrighty. Do you want to do the intro now that we're
I don't
back?
remember what to say.
I can do it if you want.
Like, what do we even say?
Hi, camera.
Hi, welcome back to Holy Devoted. We have Jasmin as a guest.
You basically did it.
I thought I was whispering enough. To the All right, hi everybody, and welcome back to Holy Devoted. Today we have a special guest, Jasmin. We're so excited she's here.
Hello.
Yay!
Hi.
We want to thank our sponsors, Teen Missions International. They take kids on mission trips, and so if you're interested in serving the Lord this summer, you should go to teenmissions.org to learn more.
That works. See, you did the whole part about teen missions. I would have forgotten that.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of a key part.
Thank you, Teen Missions, for sponsoring our video.
Jasmin! All right, tell us, Jasmin, how did you end up here at the podcast?
I was invited by.
I mean, background on like, how did you end up here?
In Teen Missions?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So my dad had heard about Teen Missions a long, long time ago.
Okay.
But he didn't have children back then. And so later on we served in Malaysia. And when we came back, my siblings were like too old, I guess, to come. But he still had me. So he's like, you know what, Jasmin? Go ahead. And so
Nice.
he sent me here, and now I'm here.
Yeah. You went on a mission trip on a team.
I went to Costa Rica 2023.
Nice. Was it good?
It was the best. It was amazing. The best missions trip I've ever done in my life.
Wow. That's awesome. Is it the only mission trip you ever gone on in your life?
No, I've done quite a few.
Okay, good. That's good.
Yeah.
It's the best one. It's the only one.
The best and the only.
Okay. So we always start the podcast with a fun question before we get into the deeper stuff.
Okay.
So what's something you've been thinking about a lot lately?
Oh my gosh. Probably my dog who passed away recently.
Oh.
I've thought of a lot about her. We
sorry.
recently got a big like photo of like her nose up. You know, like those cow pictures?
Oh, yeah.
It's like that. We got one of her, and so we put a frame on it, and now I have it in the room where I'm staying at. And so I think about her frequently. Probably I'm into photography,
Okay.
and so probably like I look at everything. I'm like, that could be a good picture.
Sure.
That would be a good picture.
Sure.
And so yeah, I think so.
Ellie?
I don't know. I feel like. What was I? I was going to say something, but then she caught me off guard with the whole dog thing. That's like so precious. And
Yeah.
so I was going to say something dumb like pumpkins. Squash. I don't
You're
know.
thinking about them a lot?
I guess. It's fall. It's fall, but it's not because we're in Florida. So it's like
Doesn't
nothing.
feel like
It's
it.
starting to cool down, though. Like, it's not,
Okay.
like, blistering heat.
It's 80s instead of 90s.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
I'm not. I'm not ungrateful, but
Yeah.
it's not like fall weather. This is just
No.
like cooler
I
summer
guess
weather.
I've lived here longer
Yeah.
than you have, so
Yeah.
yeah, no, that makes sense.
And there's like no trees. It's all green still. So I'm like, at least I have a pumpkin.
Did you, like, buy one from Walmart?
No, we just have like the cutie little one, like the decoration. I don't know. It's
Oh,
like
like, not a
it's
real
like
one.
a candle or something. I
I
don't
see, I
know.
see, I see.
Oh,
I see.
okay.
Very nice. Yeah, I have fall stuff that I haven't pulled out of the... I get lazier, I think, every year. And I'm just like, oh, the effort of, like, pulling out the
Yeah.
holiday stuff. Not with Christmas. I love decorating for Christmas. But for autumn, I'm like, is it worth it?
My mom decorates for like every single season. And so
Damn.
fall is her favorite because she realized that fall like lasts a lot more than Christmas because fall is like September, October, November.
It's true.
And so she does decorates for Easter and like every single thing in our house.
So she does, like, all of them.
She does all of them. She's like so psyched about it. So people, when we have guests around in Mexico, they're like so excited to see like the new
Dude.
decorations that my mom has. So it's pretty fun.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'd say what's been on my mind has been I've been doing research on this is so random. I feel like all three of ours are all so random on what nail kit to buy, and so I was thinking a lot about that and researching how to do your like nails at home and that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. So yeah, that's what we got.
Well, now you have to show them off. Like,
They're warbly. It was my
Oh.
first time doing it. I feel like
No, I
the
don't.
internet girls are gonna judge me. I mean, look at that. That one's like deformed.
what did you do to it?
I buffed it too much into the transparent powder because I went with dip
Oh,
powder.
Yeah.
Because I was telling you about the like gel polish allergies.
Oh.
Have you read about that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
it's
read,
terrifying.
I've heard about that.
Yeah,
It's
so I was
scary.
like, "There's no way I can
Yeah.
do that." I was like, "I'm a wimp." I was like, "I'm not cut out for that level of
That's terrifying.
professionalism. I know.
Very
Same with the dip,
much.
but I like over buffed it. I almost said sanded it down, which is like the most construction thing to say ever. And so there's like this weird transparent lumpy
There's
part.
like a ridge on it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
The
learning.
color's
and growing.
really cute.
It is a cute color. Anyways, so
Very
that's
cute.
what I got. Do you want to start with the first question?
Yeah. All right. So do you go by Sarah or Jasmine? Or
Oh my goodness.
It's so confusing.
that wasn't a question. That was just me.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, when I go to a new place, you know, when they ask you for your first name and last name, I normally go by Jasmine, but when they sign me up for things, since Sarah is my first name, they write me down as Sarah Huegel. And so when, like in Teen Missions, when I came here, I was originally gonna come as Jasmine, but my name tag and my prayer cards were all Sarah. And so people were like, oh, so you're Sarah. It's like, yeah, I'm Sarah. And so I started going by Sarah. But everybody outside of Teen Missions, I introduced myself as Jasmine. So when I came back here this time, everybody's like, so which one are you?
Who are you?
Yeah. When I was younger, though, like since I would switch schools a lot, I would go, okay, this time I'm going to be Sarah. Next school I'll be Jasmine. Then I'll go back to Sarah. And so I kept switching around.
That's,
But
that's actually
Yeah.
hilarious.
I prefer Jasmine.
Okay,
think so.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
Okay. So our first question is, when did you first realize that being a little person set you apart from your peers?
I think it was when I went to elementary school for the first time because I started in the U.S. I went to elementary school in the fourth grade. No, wait. Fourth grade. And so seeing immediately like how people would like look at me and start saying stuff was like, why are you doing that? And so then like I would look at pictures of together as a group of like my friends and I was like, well, I'm different. I look different. And so that's when I started like realizing like, yeah, well, this person's younger than me, but they're like a foot taller than me. So yeah, I think that was it in elementary school.
Yeah.
Where
How
did
old
you?
is fourth grade?
I was gonna say, where did you go to school before that?
I went to an international school in Malaysia,
Okay.
but there's like all types of people there.
I say it's a very diverse
It's
school.
a very diverse
Yeah,
school
yeah,
because
yeah,
they have
that makes
people
sense.
from all different parts of the world. Well, mostly Asia, but it's all types of people. And since I grew up since I was like in the first grade, so people got used to seeing me like really quick.
Oh, because
So-
yeah, that makes sense. Because you grew up with them for multiple
Yeah.
years, so it wasn't like you were new.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes
And like
sense.
when
Yeah.
you're in first grade, I feel like you guys like closer in height, and then it
Yeah.
got more
I
drastic
was
as
say
you
I
got
don't know what
older.
age fourth grade is. I'm
I think it's
homeschooled.
10
I was
or
homeschooled.
11.
10 or 11.
10 or 11, yeah.
Okay, so that's when people
I
are
think
trying to
so.
hit like their growth
Mhm.
spurt, and
That's
so
when people are starting to
it was
grow.
starting to be more noticeable, maybe.
Yep.
Okay. So like in that process of growing up and being different, was it hard to accept that you were different? What did the process look like for you to like accept that and be like, yeah, this is who I am?
Oh my. So it was really hard because I guess in the place where I grew up, in the society where I am and stuff, everybody like you have to give like a huge representation of like who you are, not just like physical wise, but personality wise. And so however like I was, my personality had to like somehow balance it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they'll do like different games that's like for people who are taller. This is in general like for every short person I think. But when they do games that are taller and they're like, okay, so we need to pick people now.
Oh yeah, like the lineup to pick
Yeah,
for
the
volleyball.
lineups.
Yeah, brutal.
So when they say like these two people are gonna pick their teammates.
yeah, that there's no.
I hate those.
Yeah. So
I hate them, and that's just
Mhm.
because of my own inability.
Yeah.
yeah. And so those type of things I'm like, I don't want to be here right now because
Yeah.
obviously, you know.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it's like, yeah, we'll take you out of it. It's like, oh.
Oh, like a pity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a pity, like, okay. But then if I know the people for already, it's easy for like me to tell them like, hey, you know what? Like, I really don't feel the best to do this. And so
Yeah.
better not. But I think it's mostly like when you go to a youth group for the first time, they're like, okay, so we're going to pick teams now and you guys are going to do these games. And it's like, oh, and you don't know anyone from there.
Yeah.
And so it's even worse. So you're like, ah. So, yeah.
Do you feel like you had to deal with that more because you moved around a lot, or?
I had to deal, yes.
Because you had to like prepare a whole new batch of people
Mhm.
each time.
Because every like
Yeah.
school, not even school, just church in general. Like every church, there's like a routine. Like first you get there.
Sorry to
Wait.
interrupt. It keeps pointing this way, so you just got to
Oh,
make sure you
okay.
keep it pointed at your mouth.
Yeah,
it's really
I agree. Sorry.
directional. No, continue.
So it's like you get there and you have to first get used to like the first 10 minutes of the kids just staring you back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, up and down, up and down, up and down. And I can't tell them anything because like kids don't see this normally. And so they're going to be curious. And that's completely understandable. And so it's like, okay, just let them stare me down for a bit. And so it's that, and then be able to like, hey, so how are you? What's your name? Like be able to talk to you. And then once you start building a friendship, oh my goodness, we have to move.
Oh.
It's like I have to go to a different place now.
Yeah. Because your family moved around a lot.
Because my family moves around a lot, and we just have like trips to raise support or different kind of things. And obviously back then I was a lot younger, and so I always have to follow my parents everywhere they would go. So having to do that routine, even like in small places when we go to the mall or go to the other places, it's not that the staring like bothers me. Just it gets tiring at times.
Yeah.
Just gets really tiring of being like, okay, back to doing this.
Yeah.
Back to doing that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember, I don't know why that triggered a memory from when I was a little kid. I was so little. And I remember we were like driving somewhere and there was someone who was in like a head to toe cast. Like they had obviously been in like some type of terrible car accident. Like the only thing that wasn't bandaged was their face. And I remember my sister was like, Emma, stop staring. Because I was like a little kid. And I was like forcing myself to blink. And I was like, I'm not staring. But I was still like looking at the guy just like blinking a bunch of times. So I wasn't staring.
Yeah.
Little kids are the worst at that.
No,
though.
they're so
they have
brutal.
like it just the uncomfortable like stare. Like they just
Or they'll also just
yeah.
like say things to people
Yeah,
like,
into your soul.
why do you look like that or something? And you're
Yeah.
like, whoa, that's brutal.
For me, it's like the big things. Like you can tell like the kids' intentions with it. Again, like I can't blame them much because they're curious because they don't see this
Yeah.
often, obviously. And a kid is a kid. All kids are curious. But also, when it comes to the points, I've gotten really nice kids who like come up and say like, "You're really pretty," or like, "Oh, you're awesome. What's your name?" And they introduce themselves, or they smile at me, and so then I'll smile back. Or then sometimes I'll try to smile first, and if they smile back, I'm like, "Okay, this is a good kid."
Yeah.
But those kids who later on are like staring at you and they go, "Look,"
Oh, brutal.
it's like,
come on, man.
come on.
I'm still a person. Like, don't just be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'm on a stage right now where everybody needs to look at me. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it depends.
So was that hard? This is a bonus question I just thought of. Was that hard to like process through and not let that define you? Like, what did that look like?
I think it is something I like struggle to like go through, and I still like till this day like there's moments when I'm still like, oh my goodness, like why? And I know for sure it hasn't been something that defines me. Although I have found in some places that it's a great way to catch the attention to evangelize to a person.
Okay.
When
I actually wanted to ask you about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue, please.
So when a person like looks at you for a while and you see that you have time and they're not doing anything, I've come to a few people that I'm like, hey, so what's your name? And they'll be like, oh, my name is, I don't know, Ashley. And I'll be like, oh, I'm Jasmin. And start a conversation. And then they'll bring up their question, especially when it's kids. They'll bring up the question of like, why are you like that? So like, well, God made me like this. And I'm like, who's God? It's like, well, God is the creator of all of this. And then I start showing something. And that for me, I learned that that's a way that God has used me in my life to be able to catch people's attention, to be able to talk to them back.
You got them on like the fish hook. Like you have them on the line.
Yeah. 'Cause they're interested. And I bet, do you get a lot of people just asking you questions, like random questions or not really?
I've gone like twice adults.
Okay.
But it's adults that are like, I don't want to say exactly like drunk, but like people who
They weren't like
they're not
present mentally.
Yeah, they're not present mentally there. They're just like
Sure.
people who are just lazy
Yeah.
or just there. But I have gotten a lot of kids who are definitely like people who literally like I'm not even looking them. I don't even notice they're there. Out of nowhere, I'll get a kid like beside me and be like, "So why are you like that?" So I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
Those parents are always like so embarrassed. They're like trying to haul the kid away. Like, please stop talking.
yeah, it's and I'm like, it's okay because the parents. I'm like, I'm so sorry. It's like, no, I understand. It's okay. But then you get the parents who are also like, they'll have their kid. The kid will. I got once. We were at a Target, I think. The kid was in the shopping cart. The kid looked at me and then went to the mom, and then the mom started looking at me, and I had the kid and the mom both looking at me. I'm like,
Bro.
Okay.
No, chill. Just staring.
Yeah,
She wasn't even
just-
blinking.
too.
She wasn't. She was just straight up looking at
That's
like
kind of crazy.
stalker.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean, you
wild.
expect it from a kid, but from the mom, it's
yeah,
like,
from the mom
Because
too.
you know who the kid learned it from.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, are there any ways that your experiences as a little person or being adopted have influenced the path you want to take in life?
Yes. I want to be a midwife when I
Sick.
when I grow up and work, and I thought of myself first, like, why am I doing this? Like, what called me this? First, I wanted to do medicine because, like, you know, when you're a little kid and you have like all these little like plastic tools and you want to do surgery on your teddy bears and your dolls. And so it's like, this is so cool. I want to do this. Then my brother became a nurse. And then he started getting a ton of money. And I was like, you know what? I want to be rich. I want to be a nurse to be rich. And so I just got all these like ideas and stuff. But then I thought, like, what is like a bigger way that I could use my life to talk as a job, like to evangelize in the same time?
Yeah.
And I was like, look, little people cannot do natural birth. That's a fun little people fact, by the way.
I did not know that.
Yeah, little people cannot do natural birth.
I did not know that.
Because, well, yeah, they can't. Because the baby just doesn't fit down there.
I guess it makes sense.
And so,
Maybe just don't fit.
yeah. And so I thought, look, if I could be a midwife where I could help moms who birthing is such like a big thing, obviously, because you're being in the moment where you're bringing a whole new life out. And so I was like, this is a great way for me to show, like, God brought me all the way through here. Like, God brought me to be a midwife and to be helping you here. And if there's a reason why I'm here, it's because of him. And that would be a way to evangelize, to be like, hey, so if God did this with me and he brought me all the way here, like, he's got a whole plan for you and the baby who just came.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, with the energy that I have, that I could be able to hype up the mom and encourage her to just keep going, because I know it's hard. Well, I don't know, but I've heard that it's hard.
Yeah.
And so I think I've used myself, like, as a little person, like, you can be also a big encouragement, because people who don't, I guess, aren't very strong in faith or don't know a lot about the work of God, the works of God, don't think that people who are different can do big things like normal people do, but we can. Like, we're normal people still. And so, like, being able to tell people, like, yeah, God can do a lot. And so, yeah.
You can do it, yeah. And I feel like I haven't known you for very long, but just from the short time that I have known you, like, you're such an encouraging and just like a joyful presence
Thank
that
you.
I feel like if if there's a mom who's giving birth and she's like, crying or going through it, I feel like you would just be such like a comforting and like warm presence to
thank
have,
you.
that it's like you were saying, your personality that's just who you are. Like, that's not influenced by like your physical body. You just you are who you are. And I
Thank
think
you.
God made you just like such an encouraging and warm
Yeah.
heart that would just be like, that would be awesome, if a
Yeah.
mom's like in.
Thank you, yeah. For the adoption one, I will say, I just thought about this. For the adoption one, I would say mostly because my adoption story was mostly that I had 3 families who heard about me, like, through, like, people or something, but they never saw me physically, or they never saw what I look like. So when they heard of my, like, how I am, they're like, oh, this is cool. But then they met me and they're like, yeah, no, we're leaving. Like, we don't want her. And so that was like, for me, it was like, dang, really?
How old were you?
This was like when I was before 3, because I got adopted at the age of 3.
Okay.
Was it because you were a little person?
Yeah, because I was a little
okay. They
person.
didn't tell them that before.
No, they didn't. No, that was like why they would be more shocked, because I guess,
Okay.
because obviously it depends like where you are. Like, people have like their way of thinking of a perfect body and like how you have to be. And so
this was in like Southern Asia, right?
this was in Malaysia, yes,
Yeah,
which is
okay.
Southern Asia.
Yeah.
So, this is like how I knew like God had that plan for me. God brought my family, like Mexicans, all the way to Malaysia, and they brought a live souvenir back with them. And so,
Live souvenir.
And so I was like, God chose me to be a Christian in my life, to grow up in a Christian household and to be a light where I go, and to use my story to encourage other people.
Yeah.
Because and then there's moments where I've thought, like, what if I just wake up and I'm like, I look normal, like I have long legs. And then I think to myself, well, I wouldn't be here. Because if I was normal, the first family who heard of me would have adopted me like immediately.
Oh.
And I would have been in a whole different life. I would have had a
Yeah.
complete different life. So there's like a reason, and that was the reason for why I was born like not normal. Because again, if I was normal, I would have a whole complete different life right now. I wouldn't know who Jesus. I probably wouldn't know who Jesus is, living in the Muslim world, and would have not met a lot of people. It would have been completely different. And so every time I think about like, what if I just wake up with long legs tomorrow, or what if like this is all a dream or something? It's like, no, Jasmine, this is reality, and there's a reason why you're here.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That is such a cool perspective that I had not thought about.
It's like there was those moments of like disappointment, you know, but then it's like I feel like the story of Joseph, you know, where he says like what his brothers like, you know, turned against him, you know, and what Satan meant for evil, God used for good. You know, and it was like there was that moment of rejection, but then ultimately it led to like such a better outcome than you could have ever expected. Like that's so wild.
Also, I feel like going back to what you were talking about with like, we were talking about like your personality, like so sunshiny and everything. And something I was thinking about is that I feel like people might, when they first meet you, the first thing they notice is that you're a little person. But as they get to know you, I feel like your personality is so like sunshiny and everything that like that's what like sticks out in a way. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
I don't know how to I don't know quite how to word it. It made it sound like your personality sticks out, but I mean in a good way.
But it's like when someone's talking about Jasmine, it's like the thing that comes to mind is like, oh, she's so fun to be around.
Yeah, she's
like,
so fun to be around.
Oh my gosh,
She's so
I love
funny.
talking to her.
She's always happy. She was walking around boot camp. I still remember, and she was like always smiling. And like, this is a big property where we do our training. Like, it's a lot of steps. And like, what you think every two?
I actually counted this. I counted it like with almost each one of like my team members who are with me. The tallest guy, his name is Price. He did like 4 steps, and that was like 8 of mine.
Oh
so
my
I
gosh!
Like did the double.
So she's getting like 20,000 steps every day, and we're getting like 10,000. That is so wild.
Yeah. So actually, I guess that would be a part of like my little person story. When I came to teen missions for the first time, since I was like completely alone, I was gonna come with a friend from Mexico, but she backed out like the last minute, and so I was like, oh my gosh. It was like very intimidating, like, oh. And this was my very first time like being completely by myself, without friends, without family, like a complete whole new world. And so this was when I learned like trust God like to the fullest. God is the only one who knows how I'm gonna get, like how this is gonna go. And then the first time, that like first day, I saw everybody walking around. I'm like, how in the world am I gonna do this? And so it was really great, and I really thank my leaders that were there with me, because they were all very like, they thought a lot of me, and so they were like, okay, we're gonna walk fast, but not too fast. Like, we're gonna do this. I also had a teammate who had a broken foot. Or like
I remember that.
Foot,
yeah,
and he was on crutches, and so I was like, okay, so I'm not the slowest one here.
Someone has to blame it on.
Like the Lord provided.
Yes, literally. I was like, thank you, God, that I'm in this team. And so when they would do the OC, I did the OC the first day, but I did it with a pass, like to not have to go really fast.
I was gonna say, would you fit through Jacob's ladder?
I didn't do Jacob's ladder, because there were some that I did like.
Oh, because like the holes are big enough.
Yeah. The holes are really big.
It's like a genuine safety issue.
Yeah. And so I wanted to do Jacob's ladder because I like climbing a lot. But there are some things that, because of my legs, like how they're made, they're like curvy.
Okay.
And so if I do a lot of running, like to a certain point, all my weight goes to the side of my leg. It doesn't go to my foot. And so this starts cramping. And so that's the reason why I couldn't do the OC. As much as I had all the energy that God miraculously put in me to do that energy that morning, I was like really slow, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, I really want to, but my legs just
can't do it.
And it's those moments when I also thought of like, I'm trying to rush so much of like trying to get this, but there's just certain things that God's like, you have to wait. Like, this is not for you yet.
Yeah.
And so being able to have this guy who also couldn't do the OC because he had like his broken foot was like, okay, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
So everything's great. Yeah.
If you want to know more about what she's talking about, it's the obstacle course. It's part of our missions training. You can look it up at Team Missions. It's kind of like a niche
Definitely
thing.
recommend it.
Okay, my next question. I need my bifocals in here. I need new glasses. I'm struggling to see. Okay, so we talked about the fact that you were adopted, and I think we talked about this a little bit before this morning when we were talking about the notes. But were there moments where you struggled with your identity because you were adopted, and how did you work through those?
There's been like moments, I wouldn't say it's a huge thing of being like, yeah, adoption definitely took off this identity of mine. Because I feel like when you're, people who are adopted have like a great boost and like a great testimony. Like you have a great thing to start off with to say like, yeah, well, I came in from this family. If you know your biological family, you're like, I came from this past and now I'm here. Or when you don't know them, it's like, well, I would have lived this life, but I wouldn't have been saved. And now I am. And so when I think about like my adoption, I think more of like the positive side.
Yeah.
There isn't really much negative to think about it. I think if I would have met my biological parents, it would have been a lot harder. But since I didn't meet them.
Because you don't know like anything about them,
No,
right?
because my mom, I don't know anything about my dad. My mom, when she gave birth to me, she left me in the hospital and she left. And so nobody has any records, I think, of my mom. So I don't know like literally anything of her. So when I think about like the 3 families who like heard of me and they're like, no, I think about what if that was the reason why my mom left me too. But then it comes to like, I can't assume. Like maybe she wasn't financially able, or maybe she was not prepared or something. Something could have happened. But yeah, I think that's the only thing that I really think about. Like, why is it that she left?
Yeah.
So yeah. When I was a little kid, I never thought about it.
Oh, okay.
Like when I was a little kid, I like never, like even adoption didn't come through my mind, because everybody would always say I look like a lot like my mom, and like
I honestly thought you were. I thought they were your birth parents. I only found out like 2 days ago that she was adopted. Did you know she was adopted?
I just found out today.
Oh, okay.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I thought your parents were like your birth parents.
No, yeah. I definitely, yeah. When I was little, I like.
Which means I thought you were Mexican too.
Yeah, I
know.
understand that.
It's wild. I'm sorry.
You're good. I definitely get that. Yeah, when I was a child, I actually asked my mom that, I think, like last year. I'm not sure when I asked her, but I thought, like, how did I realize I was adopted? Because I don't remember any specific
question.
Yeah, I don't remember a specific conversation I had with my parents where they were like, yeah, Jasmin, well, that. But what it does happen is I do have memories in the house where I lived in before I was with my parents.
Oh,
I have memories that I still remember till this day, like with the people there and where I was, and a little bit like what I would do, which is wild because I was like 3 or before 3.
That is wild.
The only thing I really think about is like, you know what? God knows where she is, and God knows if she's still alive or not, or what happened to her. And I just pray like that she meets Christ one day, and that maybe, that she'll be saved wherever she is, and that someone will share the Bible to her, and see if we'll see each other in heaven.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. What a journey. Feel like your perspective on adoption is so cool. That like, if you hadn't been born a little person, you wouldn't have been adopted by your parents now, and like your life would look totally different. Is so interesting. It makes me think of like how many decisions we make in our lives that like end up being such a huge like determination of like how our life ends up.
Yeah.
Like I always think about like if I hadn't moved to Florida, I wouldn't have met my husband Joel. And I would probably be like married to somebody else and doing like something completely different. I know, it's so weird to think about like that.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, what decisions are we making right now that are like, you know what I mean, like formative, but I don't think you can really know them beforehand. So
yeah.
I don't know if I have any that are like as crazy as either of yours. I feel like I
if you
just
hadn't
go with
gone on
the
a
flow.
team, you wouldn't have met your husband.
I mean, maybe, but like my parents came to teen missions and they knew
Sure,
his
so it was
parents,
kinda
and
like
so
a-
it's
it was
like there's
kind
a
of like
lot
a
more
thing.
connection. Like
That's
if I hadn't
fair.
gone on a team, like I could have still met him. Like
That's fair.
there were a lot of avenues for that.
I didn't think about that. That's fair.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the next one? I have it open if you want to use mine.
Yeah.
Um,
What advice do you have for girls who are struggling with feelings of insecurity or comparison to others?
Oh my gosh. Whoa. Okay. Well, that's something I definitely have dealt with in my life. I think it depends a lot, like where you are. I could say like almost obviously every country has like their own perspective of what a perfect teenage girl looks like. And I definitely thought of your personality stands out more than what you look like. Nobody will love you if you look beautiful. Well, we're all beautiful in our own way in God's eyes, but
Brutal. That was brutal. If you're beautiful, I mean, we're all beautiful in our own ways.
In God's eyes.
In God's eyes.
I mean,
Oh, man.
the thing is, a lot of people will remember when we pass away, say, a lot of people remember you mostly for like how you were of the person.
Yeah.
And it's, again, like I don't want to say it in that way, but each person has their own way of beauty, of like their own lookingness. God says like in heaven we'll all have perfect bodies, but we all assume in our head what that would be, but God never said this is exactly a perfect body. So why are we trying to compare ourselves to something that might not even be perfect for what we're going to look like in the future?
Dude.
And so it's like, and I also have to think a lot about the fact, like, you know what? If we all looked exactly the same, how boring would life be? Like,
So boring.
like so boring. Like seeing, obviously they have their own patterns, but like animals, when they have the baby, it's the same looking baby as the other couple's baby. But everybody here like has their own like look. And to think about like how creative God was to like make every person look so different. There's like more than 1 billion people in this world. And so it's thinking a lot of like why. I remember when I was younger, like when I went, it wasn't really much in elementary school, but in middle school, mostly when like girls would like start going into, oh my gosh, this boy likes me. Oh my gosh, this boy said I was cute. And like there's a part of you like you haven't heard from that, and that's where I think is really wrong when girls like think of their beauty from like the guy's perspective of like what people tell you. But there is like so many Bible verses that tells you like you are like this, like, and this is something that was written like many years ago. Why does it matter to you what the guy like who's even younger than you is telling you? Like, bro, God didn't say that, and God's the one who created you. And then I talked with a girl actually about 2 months ago. Yeah, 2 months ago I think. She told me like, how is it like? She told me like I was really pretty, but how do I feel pretty? And I told her, well, I think about, look, have you seen the sunsets? Like those things are gorgeous, but those things don't talk and those things don't have life. If God cared more for you, why would you think you're less than that? Like you are worth so much more, and you have like so much beauty on you that like even changes when you start growing up. Like a sunset's always a sunset, or like a flower is always a flower, but you're you, and like God like designed every single like piece of you in like your own way. And so it's really hard because especially like with social media and stuff, I struggled with this actually like about a month ago. I got off social media for a bit because there came a moment where I would see like a lot of my friends, and like seeing how many likes and comments people get is such a big thing. I never thought about it before. I was like, oh well, they just have encouraging friends, but then like they put so much comments, and then when you put a post and something, it's like empty, and you're like, what does this mean? And so some people aka me would think like, well, does this mean like I'm not pretty for these people and stuff? But then I have to think like, again, nobody knows what the perfect body is. Like God never told us. Thankful, and there's a reason why God hasn't told us like exactly what a perfect body is, apart from Jesus. But like what we're supposed to look like. And it's because we know we're not supposed to know. Because if we knew that, then everybody would want to look exactly like this. But nobody says it. And so your beauty shouldn't be defined by like other people and what they say and how much they're going to compliment you. Because the only compliment that really, truly should hit you is the one God tells you, and God tells you that you're beautiful, and God wrote it all in the Bible. It says exactly like what your beauty is like. And so, yeah, I think it's a lot about that. But if you don't have friends that will accept you from who you are, then back away.
Back off.
Back off. Especially, well, my friends, I don't think they'll hear this, but my friends in Mexico, they'll take pictures specifically with people who they think are like gorgeous. And they'll post pictures with only people who they think like are going to get so many likes and are going to be gorgeous. But people who they don't think is going to be like that, they don't post them. They don't take a lot of pictures with them.
Dude.
And that hits you hard because sometimes you become one of those people. They'll be like, you'll be in a crowd in a youth group, say, and they'll also only say like you and you come in for the picture.
Bro.
But other people, it's like, no,
That's
later.
so nasty.
And then when they do take a picture, they never post it.
Oh,
and
snap.
that's what hits you because you're
That's
like,
that's like
That would
psychological
destroy
warfare.
you.
yeah. So when you
Oh my
see
gosh.
that and when you see like only this group always gets pictures and always puts up pictures, it's like, dude,
that's not
that's
cool
not
at all.
cool. And it's a little bit tough because then it's the same people that will be like, you're so beautiful, like, and God says that you're pretty, but I don't want you in my
believe
picture.
you.
Yeah. And then they'll be like, I don't want you in my picture. So it's like, you're making no sense.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of like, you shouldn't determine how you feel about yourself by what other people say. Because the only one that matters by how they say it's God, and God's the one who made you.
Yeah.
And if God would have thought you were ugly, he wouldn't have made you, but he thought you were beautiful. And so he made you. And so, like, when you look at a cockroach, do you ever think a cockroach is pretty?
No.
No.
They're icky.
But it's God's creation, and God's creation is beautiful.
You just
and
call
so-
people roaches.
No, she didn't call people roaches.
No. I mean, like, in general, like, anything.
Yeah.
You could think of,
No,
like, the
you're
ugliest
saying.
animal or something, but
Like
there's a
those
reason,
fish
like,
on the bottom of
they
the
still have, like, a
ocean, like a
purpose.
blobfish.
yeah.
Those wrinkly, hairless cats. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Gosh, yeah. Those cats are like, why? The only one I haven't gotten in my head is like, why does a mosquito have to exist?
Oh,
I suppose it
why?
has something in the life cycle, like something eats it. I think.
Yeah, but it's like, bro,
I know.
they
Or
couldn't
fire
eat your
ants.
plant.
yeah,
But yeah, I
So-
feel like what you said, one thing stood out to me of like your personality and like who you are inside is what's gonna stick with people. Like sometimes I've seen those posts on Instagram where it's like talking about someone's like friend or their mom, and it's like, I just remember her because of like how she kept so strict to her diets, and she was always so
Oh, yeah, I've seen
skinny,
those
and she
too.
like
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
had her hair and her nails done. Like that was why she was my favorite friend, is because she always had her best outfit on. Like
It was so
nobody
ridiculous.
says
Nobody
that.
thinks
Like,
that. Yeah.
why do we compare ourselves
Yeah.
in those sorts of ways? If like when we say it like that, it's like no duh. Like
like the dumbest
nobody's
thing
gonna
ever.
think you're the
Yeah.
best friend ever because
Yeah.
your hair is always perfect.
Yeah.
Like they want you to be a good friend because you're a good friend. Like
Yeah.
that's what they're gonna remember.
I don't know if you guys have seen. There's a girl who passed away recently. Her name's Zuza. She had cancer. She passed away recently of cancer, and she was like this big influencer. But everybody like talked about like her personality, and they were like, yeah, she was like a joy to be around and stuff. You're not gonna you don't really hear people who are like, she's the most beautiful girl in the world. It's like,
Yeah, she was so pretty. That's such a shame. Like
yeah,
No,
you
who
don't
would
hear
say
that
that?
much.
Yeah.
You hear,
Who would
you
That'd be
hear
brutal
the
if that's what
part-
people were saying at your funeral. That would
that'd be
be
embarrassing.
That'd
Like
be
if that's the
really-
only nice thing they can say about you is
Yeah.
that you were pretty. Like
that's
Yeah,
you better hope you're pretty on the inside.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you mostly always hear of like how they were, and so I have to think a lot about that. Like again, like when if I die like just now, hopefully not, but like if I die like just now, people are gonna remember me for what I say, how I was, and how like how God made me, my personality wise.
yeah.
The physical is just like an add-on to it, or like a plus, but what mostly because we become believers by our heart. We become believers and we follow Jesus by our faith. And faith you don't see.
Yeah. Dude, clip that into an
It's so
Instagram
good.
reel. Okay. If you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
You will grow, Jasmine. That's a fun one that I would tell to myself. But I think mostly is like, it's okay if people go. It's okay if people move on. Your whole life doesn't depend on just the people you have there. I struggle a lot with abandonment in my life, and was just like one of my like biggest fears is like people leaving. I hate when people like just, especially when they leave out of the blue. It's like, because you really think to yourself like, what did I do? And it's a lot of like, there's just some things that God sees that you don't. And maybe these people aren't going to help you grow in your life. And I know that for sure, because when I think about like my past friends that I had in elementary school or in middle school, I'm like, yeah, those wouldn't have been great encouragements to where I am right now. And there's a reason that. And so, but it's also like not like, just forget about them, they'll leave. But it's also like pray about where they go. Yeah. Because you don't know where they'll go, but God knows where they'll go. Yeah. And you just hope to see them in heaven. And so you really just have to pray. But I would mostly tell myself, like, it's okay for people to go. It's okay to let go. To not get too attached, because the only person or the only person that if you get so attached that they'll never disappoint you is Jesus. And so the only person that you really have to be attached to is Jesus. And as long as you have Jesus, you can do everything. You have it all. And so, it doesn't all depend on your friends, what your friends think. Yeah. So, because friends come and go. Yeah. But Jesus comes and stays. Aww. So, yeah. Dude,
that was so good.
So encouraging.
That was all of our questions we had for you. I'm so glad we had you on the podcast. Thanks for being willing.
Of course.
I know I stumbled over my words there. Tired. But no, it's been a joy to talk to you, hear more about your story. I feel like I did not know next to anything about your life. I just always was like, oh, hi, Jasmin, and then run around doing stuff.
No, it's cool. It makes me just want to hang out and get coffee or something. But
hey, I mean, I'm here till Saturday, so.
You have a few days. She leaves Thursday, though.
No, I leave tomorrow. Otherwise, I totally would.
You leave tomorrow. You go.
Tight turnaround.
Yeah.
But. All right. Do you want to do the outro, Ellie?
What am I supposed to say?
Just thanks for watching and go to teammissions.org.
What if I say those exact words?
Oh my gosh, you gotta fluff it out.
All right, thank you guys for watching Wholly Devoted. If you want to learn more about going on a mission trip with Teen Missions, who's our sponsor, you can check us out at teenmissions.org. And thanks for watching, and thank you, Jasmin, for being on the show with us.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys.
Yay.
Bye.